Hello, my dear students. Time flies very fast. One more week has passed and I'm here again to recap its results. This week was relatively easy as you were supposed to do only 3 tasks. I'm very happy that you have begun to communicate with me freely and started sharing your concerns and questions online. And I will be glad to answer them here. Your first task in Module 2 was to read or watch, or both. It's up to you. You need to decide for yourself what works for you better. Maybe you have a good visual memory, that's why it's better to read. Or maybe you need to listen to somebody speaking about that. That's why it's better to watch the videos. So you were supposed to read or watch about the general classification of English speech sounds and do a test on this material. The information was rather interesting as you have learned about vowels and consonants and the main difference between them. Now you know that consonants are subdivided into noise consonants and sonorants. There are 7 sonorants in English. They are m, n, l, w, r, and y. And they occupied an intermediate position between a vowel sound and the consonant sound. I have received an interesting remark from Alexei Yugurastov about the number of points for factorization of speech sounds. Yes, that's a very interesting question. According to the manual I have uploaded onto Moodle, there are 3 points of characterization, and the vowels are different from consonants in the presence or the absence of an obstruction, the strength of the stream of air, and the tension of the organs of speech. By the way, you can follow me by using the manual and by opening it on page 5. There is no obstruction when you produce a vowel, and there is an obstruction when you produce a consonant. The stream of air is weak when you produce a vowel, and it's strong when you produce a consonant, as in p, t, k. You can feel that. When you produce a consonant, the tension is at the place of obstruction. And when you produce a vowel, it's distributed throughout the resonator. So totally, there are 3 points of characterization. But we have added one more to our video lecture because it's important to understand the level of noise or musical tone when we speak about vowels and consonants, and specifically noise consonants and sonorants. There is more noise in noise consonants than in sonorants, and less musical tone in sonorants than in vowels. So I have reset the settings for this test, and I've made both answers 3 and 4 correct, because 3 is correct according to the information that's given in the manual, and 4 is correct according to the information that's given in the video. In the test, the general classification of English speech sounds, there was one more question where some of you haven't given a fully correct answer. I'm in question 3. It was how are sonorants different from other consonants? There you had 3 options. An obstruction is formed in the cavity. Number 2, the stream of air is weak. The organs of speech are tense both at the place of obstruction and throughout the resonator. Actually, when we produce a sonorant, the stream of air is weak, like in vowels, and unlike in consonants and noise consonants, because there the stream of air is strong. In the production of noise consonants, the organs of speech are tense at the place of obstruction, while in the production of sonorants, we feel this tension both at the place of obstruction and throughout the resonator. And of course, there is one more principle that or point of characterization that makes consonants, noise consonants, different from sonorants. That's the level of musical tone. As we're speaking about this question, here option 2 and 3 are correct. Your second task was to count the number of syllables in English words. There are different theories that can help you to count syllables. And I have offered you the one that's called the sonority scale. I think this one is the most interesting and useful one, because here you can experience it, you can draw the points and find the peaks that form syllables, and it's a lot of fun because it's connected with music. So here we need to count the number of peaks. One peak is one syllable. And as you have understood that one peak can be formed only by a vowel or a sonorant after a noise consonant, as in pronunciation, intonation. This shin also forms a peak. That's why it forms a syllable. You have some doubts about the word vowel. Me too. But some scientists consider that there are 2 syllables here. And the others think that there is only 1 syllable, because we have 3 vowels in a row. And usually 3 vowels in a row form only 1 syllable. Like diphthongs, we have 2 vowels in a row, and the diphthong forms 1 syllable. I think the same. I share their opinion, and otherwise we will need to have 5 syllables in the right pronunciation, because this part CA has also 3 vowels in a row. And as you have mapped on your sonority scales, it forms only 1 peak, so 1 syllable. Okay, I have the following answers. The word vowel has 1 syllable, consonant 3 syllables, sonorant 3 syllables, articulation 5 syllables, phonetics 3 syllables, pronunciation 4 syllables, intonation 4 syllables. Alena Borisovers, Olga Denisovers, Yelena Yurovers, Kate Vartsovers, Olga Maximovers, Anna Fedosovers, Alexei Gorazdev's sonority skills for these words can be considered exemplary. The last task was to start your independent pronunciation practice on English vowels and consonants. Using the book, work on your accent, clearer pronunciation, and phonetic communication. By the way, it's a very useful resource for you, and I would like you to make the best out of it. There you can find all necessary audio files and the useful exercises for your pronunciation. Please remember that you need to work systematically on a regular basis, 20 minutes per day, ideally, of course. Otherwise, you won't have any progress, significant progress in your pronunciation. And here, you are to improve your pronunciation and to soften your accent. Thank you, Nikolai Andreev, Yelena Yurover, and Anna Fedosova for following all the instructions and adding the sounds from your final oral presentation to Google Docs. I would like the rest to do the same. Today, I'm ready to open a new module for you. Today it's module 3. This module is devoted to English vowel sounds. Here you will need to read or watch, again it's up to you, about English vowel sounds. You need to add new terms to your glossary and do the test, English vowel sounds. You are also supposed to do a very interesting activity, identifying the missing English vowel sounds. And each of you is assigned to characterize 5 English vowel sounds. Please find all the necessary instructions in the discussion forum on the module, and also the list with the names and the signed RS sounds there. Besides, you will find an example in the discussion forum which you can use in your independent work. So, I would like to remind you that pronunciation is of utmost importance for those who learn a foreign language. That's why you need to devote your sufficient attention to the course material. Thank you very much for your time and enjoy Module 3.